Oh, hello there! Welcome back to my channel. This is a tutorial because you guys have asked me for a tutorial to make a pumpkin for the lovely season of Halloween. This is what you're gonna need. A 5 or 5.5mm crochet hook, some yarn, preferably chunky, a tapestry needle, some filling, a cinnamon stick and some string. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start off by chaining 17. So make your slip stitch. That starting stitch to go on your hook. If you don't know how to do this, I'll just reverse and show you. Longer at the front, shorter at the back. Pull the short over the top of the long then over the finger and pull it over like that. There are many ways of doing that, but that's just my preferred way of doing it. Leave yourself some length here so that you can sew it in afterwards. So we're going to chain 17. And excuse the thumb, this is a thumb that got trapped in a door when I was 7, and it's never grown the same. There we are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's just double check. There we are. If you're worried that the tension's a little bit bumpy, just run it back and have another go. And that's called frogging. Shall I show you? You basically just pull it back and start again. So let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So now we're going to work into this chain and we're going to use triple crochet. So we don't want to go straight into these directly next to it. You want to give yourself 3. So let's give you the one on the hook, 2, 3, go into the 4th stitch. So for a triple crochet, yarn over, you're going for the top of the chain, this one here. So you push it through, grab your yarn, pull the yarn through. So now you've got 3 hoops on your hook. Yarn over through 1, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2 again. So that's what you should have there. I'll do that again for you. So you've got this 1 stitch on the hook, 2, 3, we're going into the 4th. So yarn over, hook through, get hold of your yarn over through 1, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2 again. And now you're going to go into every single stitch all the way along, right to the end. So let's give it a go. We'll meet up again at the end. Now this first row can be a little bit fiddly, getting this tension right, making sure that you're happy with the laying of it. But the more you do it, the easier it will be. And just as a reminder, I'm using chunky yarn. This is Hayfield, and I've got a 5.5mm hook. You can use 5 or a 6.5 depending on how loose you want it to look, but I want it to look kind of closed up, so I've gone for the 5.5. My preference on the hooks are these aluminium hooks. I'm not really keen when you've got the rubber on the bottom because it kind of gets stuck on it sometimes, so this is my personal preference. You can have plastic hooks, wooden hooks, aluminium hooks. Ergonomic hooks. So as you can see, this first set is just a little bit fiddly because we're going into these small chains. But it does get easier. Oh. The beginning of most crochet projects is the most fiddly. So nearly there. Right, so now we're at the end. We want to go right into this last one. Again, a little bit fiddly. But there we are. So we've now got our first row. That's what your first row is going to look like. Now what we want to do is chain 3, turn our work and head off in the other direction. So 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. And we're going to go back the other way. Now where you're going to put your hook this time is right at the top of your triple crochet. So you'll see here that this is your first one, but we want to go in the second one here. So not the first one, the second one. So through there, grab your yarn, same again, through 1, through 2, through 2. And then we work all the way along. So let's keep going till the other end. And now our aim here is to make it so that it's basically going to be creating a rectangle shape. And to check that you've got the right size, I'll use a piece of paper to show you. You want to be able to fold it across and fold it across again, and that's the size that you're looking for. So let's just imagine this is our finished piece. It's not. You fold over and then you fold it again, and then you want to make sure that it's right to there. So let's keep going. Now what I like to say in all of my crochet tutorials is if you have any questions whatsoever, drop a message in the comments, or you can get me on my Instagram, which is at The Honest Vocal Coach, and I can answer any questions you might have over there as well. So now we've reached the end. You want to go into this one here, which is the top of that first row. And again, we're going to do 3 chains and back the other way. So this is currently row 3. And we're doing triple crochet. Now, there is a difference between USA and the UK terminology when it comes to crochet. So what I'd suggest is just have a look at the way I'm doing it. Look at the stitch itself, so you can sort of compare to the USA and UK versions. So this is what I would call a triple crochet. Through 1, through 2, through 2 again. That creates the triple. Now don't worry if it starts to curl at the edges. That we'll deal with later. Now on this one, on this second row, we're going to try and get it through here because there isn't officially a hole. So what you can do is use the loop to create one like that, or push it through this 2 loops. So loop there and loop there. and then pull back through. But it doesn't really matter if you do that. I'll go through the whole hoop like that. And then 3 chains again and back the other way for row 4. So I want you to keep going and I'll check back with you in a minute. So I'm just at the end of row 4, and what I've done on my row 4 is yarn over through the hoop. So, sorry, yarn over through the space, create your triple, so we're creating that lovely side. So it keeps it nice and straight. Again, chain 3, back the other way. 1, 2, 3, back the other way. And I want you to keep going. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do another 6. So let's add another 6, which makes it 10 rows. So I'm just up to 10. I'm just adding the last stitch in. I've done this one, so now to create this extra one here, round. So we go. There is our 10 rows. And now let's see if it's correct. We fold over and fold over again. No, so we're going to need another 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So we're going to go for 14 rows, and I'll check back in with you in a minute. You can actually use DK yarn or super chunky or Aran. Just bear in mind your pumpkin is going to be a different size. So we've got 17 and then rows, 14 rows, and we're going opposite every time. So we keep 3 chains and then turn your work, 3 chains, turn your work, and so on till we get to the end. Now let's check it again. We fold over, we fold over again, and there we are. We're spot on. We've got the size that we want now. So now we're just going to tie off. So give yourself a bit of a loop, get your scissors, make sure you've got some length, so at least this sort of length that you're after. And then to tie off, grab that yarn, pull it through. There we are. Now we're going to join these 2 pieces together. So you can kind of decide once you've finished this on which side you like best as to where you want to join. I think I like this side better. So we're going to use what's called the mattress or invisible stitch. So we're going to stitch together the inner loops, and I'm going to grab my yarn and show you. We're going to use this piece that we've got longer here that we've left. So get your tapestry needle. Here is mine. Mine's got an ever so slight bend on the end. You can get plastic ones that are quite cheap, but I like the metal. And we're going to stitch this together. You probably, like me, have crocheted your hair into it. It's not something you have to do. So we're going to start off by joining the 2 together. So you'll find that you've got a loop at the end here. Put it through there. And give yourself, there we go, just a loose tie together at the end there. Now we're going to go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So it's the back of your stitch and the near side. So it's the inner stitches. So you go through once, then you go to your next one, through, next one, through, oops, next one, through, till you get to your end. Now don't worry, we're going to pull it tight and make sure that the tension's right at the end. in there. Now what I like to do is give it a good pull, so it kind of buckles it all up, but we know that it's nice and tight at this end. Then pull again, so we're just loosening off that yarn in the centre. So there we go, we've got that together, because it creates another sort of rib all the way around your pumpkin. Right, now we're at the end here. You've still got this long piece of yarn at the end. So you've got your tube. We're going to create a running stitch all the way round. Now because I'm a little bit of a dip, I've got a little bit of a dip here, I'm just going to add an extra stitch. There we go. So it just tidies that end up a little bit. Right, so we're going to running stitch through now. So I'm going under, see here, under, over, under, over, under, all the way round, as if you're doing a drawstring on a bag, which is ultimately what we're doing here. Nearly round. Now at the end here, I'm just going to pop it through this hole. So I've got the original piece and then the drawstring. So now what we're going to do is pull the string. Now what you're going to do is knot these two together. And pull that drawstring so it's nice and tight. Knot it together. Now don't worry about the yarn yet, we're going to sew that in later. So it kind of looks like a tiny beanie hat. Right, now we're going to fill this with our stuffing. So grab your stuffing. Now you can make it as firm or as soft as you wish. And a little bit more, I think. And we're going to do another drawstring at the other end. Now, is that going to be all right? Don't worry about it being a bit lumpy, because you can kind of adjust it as you go. Okay, now I'm going to create the drawstring for this end. And I've got loads of this left, which is a bonus. So get yourself a little bit more yarn for your drawstring. Thread your needle. I'm going to start at the join. So we're going in and out again all the way round. Just leave a little bit there that we can join together afterwards. And this whole project can be done in an hour. No, it can, providing it all goes to plan. Right, and again, my end's a little bit kind of pulled in. So I'm going to add one in here. So it just draws it together like that. So we've got me, oh, I've gone too far. Let's just reverse a little bit. Let's do that last one again. So from there to there, then through to the end. So we bring them back to the same hole. So you get your drawstrings. You're going to pull these together. Now this time, don't tie it so that it's completely closed up. I want you to leave just a tiny little gap. And this is for your cinnamon stick afterwards. So tie it together. I'm going to get a cinnamon stick just to check on the size. smells so good. Okay. Oh, I'm too small. So let's give myself a bit more space. That's better. So I'm going to tie it, but the cinnamon stick is coming back out again just while we finish it off. So tie it tight. There we go. So now you've got this shape. Take out your cinnamon stick for now. Just put it to one side. So that's the hole in the top. No hole at the bottom. Now what we want to do is make sure that this yarn at the bottom goes through to the top to create this pumpkin squeeze look. So, reason why we've left the yarn long, get your tapestry needle and we're going to push from the bottom through to the top. Trying to grab hold of it. There we go. We've got his yarn here. And we're going to grab where your drawstring is. We're going back down again, and with this piece of yarn we're actually going to tie it off now at the bottom, and we're going to use the other one for the other side. So I'm going to tie this off, and because this is your bottom, you can kind of go through like this. It's going to give you a flat area at the bottom. So keep crossing that yarn over. So let's just tie this through. That cinnamon smells so incredible. Pull through. Pull through. So we're just crisscrossing here really. Making sure it's all nice and tight at the bottom. Do quite a few. Then you can snip off your yarn, and we're going to use the other one to do the same thing at the other side. So here's one side, we want the other side. Now I'm not sure if this yarn's going to be long enough, but we'll give it a shot. If not, we can always add some. So that's one side, so we want it that side. So thread it through. There we are. Again, we're going to get that drawstring. And then needle back through so it comes through the bottom. Pull it tight so you get this nice top. Like this, and we're going to sew his ends in. Again, this is your bottom, so perfection is not required at this point. It's just making sure you go through enough times so that your yarn doesn't run away with you. Keeps it nice and tight. Cut your yarn. There's our bottom completed. Now you've got two bits at the top and you're going to sew those in. I'm going to thread them through the bottom, but you could thread them around the top if you wish. So I'm going to go through to the bottom, pull, and again, crisscross them in there. Okay, so that one, snippety snip. I have a little pot for all my offcuts here, because you can use this as filling later on. So if you've got some of this, you can put that in your pumpkin. Okay, last one. So you'll see the importance of keeping your yarn ends long. Check I've still got enough space for me. I have, yeah. Got enough space for me cinnamon. Same again, crissy cross. As many as you want. Snippy snip. Right, now we're going to create those lovely ripples around the side, or ridges. I don't know what the word would be really, but it's kind of a good shape already. But we want to create it so it looks even more like a pumpkin. So, big bit of yarn for this, so you're going to need quite a length. So I've got quite a bit here. Again, we're going to start at the bottom. through the bottom. It's getting a bit tight there. There we go. Through the bottom, back through the top. Oh. Don't pull it all through, right? Leave it so you've got a little bit at the end that you can sew in, and don't literally just pull it all through. Oh dear. Right, so now we're going to get this from here around to the bottom. So let's have a little look. Let's get the design right. So let's go for here, I think. So you lay it across your pumpkin, through the bottom again, through the top. So now you're getting these, and you want to pull them tight. You can use your bottom as well, like that. So one again, I'm going to do another one. And I'm just going to move that along a little bit underneath there, like that. So it's coming down from here rather than from there. Doing the same thing again. So let's go halfway. So that is that halfway? Yep, that's halfway. Through the bottom and through. So you get the idea of what we're doing here. We're creating these pumpkin ridges all the way around. Don't make it too tight, but tight enough so that we can get these ridges where we want them. Play around with them as well until you're completely happy with where they're placed. That way, again, all the way around, through the bottom. So that one goes, let's put that there. Tighten it up. Oh, it's a bit wonky, that one. Let's tidy it up a bit. So we're just going to finish off and make sure you've got all of your sides on. So we've got so far 1, 2, 3. I need 3 more. So there we go. I've done all of my sides. And if you want, you can do a bit of tweaking at this point. Pull it so you're happy with it. Give it a bit of a squidge. Make sure that all of the sides are good for you. Then you're going to sew in your ends again. And again, if you want to make sure it's super secure, you can knot these like that. And then just sew in your ends. So I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter. Makes it easy for me to sew my end in. Trim your ends. So, pumpkin. Ta-da! Okay, get your cinnamon stick. We're going to put the cinnamon stick back in. Might take a little bit of jiggling because obviously you've got some filling in there to pass. Oh, I've broken my cinnamon stick. So let's turn it round the other way. There we go. Quite like the size of that one actually, as compares the other. Probably I could do with, I could save that. It smells amazing. Now what you can do is use a cinnamon stick, or you could make your own little stem by crocheting it with leaves. So if you are interested in a crochet version of leaves and a stem, I can add that into another video. Just to finish off our lovely pumpkin, I'm going to get some good old string. Kind of like that actually, that size. Like that a lot. So I'm using a piece of string. Loop it first around and give yourself a nice little bow. There we are. There is the pumpkin. Woohoo! Now, depending on what size you want, obviously you can extend it. You just always want to make sure that you've got that particular shape. So say if you do 25 at the bottom, you're going to need to make sure that it folds and folds. So you've always got that shape. And that way you're going to have the perfect pumpkin. And it smells amazing. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial making this very, very cute pumpkin. You can do different colours as well. So if you wanted to do stripes, you could do, I don't know, 3 rows of one colour, change colour, 3 rows of another, or you could do a row of yellow, a row of black, and so on. You can kind of adjust your colours as you want to. I do have more tutorials on my channel. I will put a link to the playlist at the end. And if there's anything specific you want me to do in terms of tutorials, let me know, because I am thinking of doing a hand warmer tutorial. But here we are, the perfect pumpkin.